Hey everybody, Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hey, it's time to give you an update on our project we've got going on the van. And Deb has been cracking the whip.
Not really.
Not really?
No. If I was, you'd be done.
Yep. There we go. Anyway, we've been working on a water transfer system for our van so we can transfer water from the van into the trailer when we're stationary for a couple of weeks at a time. And we're going to show you our progress so far. So hang on and we'll be right back. Okay. Thought we'd show you first the tank that we have here. This is a 42-gallon tank, and it's a regular RV style tank. We got it at RecPro, R-E-C-P-R-O, RecPro. And it's a pretty nice tank, and it's set up where you can, it's got outlets on it and inlets where you can use it in two different configurations. You can use it the way we have it here where the tall side is up, or you can also use it where it's laying flat on its side, and you still have inlets and outlets that'll work with that setup. And I'll show you that here in just a little bit. Now, we still have some more framing to do, which will go right in here, but we wanted to leave that framing out for now so we could show, so I could get up in there and show you a few things before we move on. So there's two more walls that will be going into this area right here, and they're standing right over there. So that will be the next thing we do after we get done with this video. Okay, I'm going to climb up in there and then we'll show you a little bit more. Hang on. Okay, first, let me show you here. This is how we have this set up where we fill the tank. This is our gravity fill water inlet, which is mounted to the outside of the van, and we'll be showing you that here in a little bit. And of course, this tube right here is the vent tube. This tube right here is, of course, the fill tube, which goes in right there, is where it goes. And then right down here, that's where the outlet is, where it heads on up over to the pump, which is right over there. In a little bit, I'll come around to the other end and I'll show you how it goes through over there. But what I want to show you also while I'm here is I ran, in order to run power to this pump over here, there is a, on this van, and this is a Chevy Express 2500 2004 model, underneath the driver's seat, there is a extra fuse panel. This van actually has two fuse panels. It has one on the firewall underneath the hood, and then it has one underneath the driver's seat. And at the very back, and it's really hard to show you that, so I won't be able to show you that, but at the very back, you can see where the main wire comes in to feed this panel. And I tapped right there, and then you see this power line coming off right here, which is number 12 stranded wire. Now, inside there, I also put inline and inline fuse, and the pump draws 7.5 amps, so I put a 10 amp fuse on that. So that's how that's set up in there. And but it's real easy to find the main terminal if you needed to tap power from there, if you have a Chevy Express 2500 like we do. Now, you all know how I feel about that cheap, junky Camco RV water hose. The stuff is purity junk, and we've mentioned it before in other YouTube videos. I finally found a use for some of it. I was thinking, what can I use to protect this wire, some kind of a sheathing? And so I cut a section of it out and actually fished the wire through that, so it'll protect it. And I've got it anchored in a few spots here, as you can see. And then, of course, it ends up right there, back there at the pump, right there. Now, I do intend on getting some of that flex conduit, automotive style flex conduit, to put on this right here. This hose here, I would have ran it all the way up there, but it's just not flexible enough to do that. So I'm going to cover the rest of that wire with that flex hose, and then I'll probably wrap tape around it there to join the two right there. So don't worry, that wire will not be left exposed the way it is. All right, now we're going to move to the back and I'll show you some more. Okay, now we're standing at the back of the van here, and we have two compartments framed up here. This particular compartment right here is where our auxiliary gray water tank is going to fit when we're traveling right here. We're going to get a 32-gallon auxiliary gray water tank that will fit in here, and we're still going to have enough room to put another shelf above it, but we won't know exactly where we can put that shelf until we actually get the tank delivered. So we're kind of waiting on that. Of course, I've got my air compressor that I always carry with me. I always like to double check the air in my tires and everything before we head out to the next destination. The tires on the van and the trailer both. I do that every single time we get ready to move to our next destination. All right, you can see where we've got the pump mounted, and all this framework in here kind of gets in the way. And you can see right down there where the water outlet is and where the hose runs up to the pump right here. Now, this pump has its own built-in switch on it, which only activates, of course, when the water pressure drops off. But I went ahead and installed a extra switch on top of that right here, just to be on the safe side. And you'll notice, I know some of you are going to mention this, you don't see a pre-filter going into the pump. Well, we opted not to go with one here. When we do fill the tank, we will be using an inline filter on the hose that fills the tank. And then we will also use that same inline filter when we transfer the water from the tank over to the trailer. Now, of course, this is where it comes in, and then it goes right down there to the outlet right here. Now, this is a pretty cool outlet, and we're going to demonstrate to you how that works. So hang on just a minute. All right, I've got the van idling right now. For demonstration purposes, it helps the pump run a whole lot better when I have the van idling. And before we talk about the outlet down here next to Deb, we'll show you where the water inlet is here, right on the side of the van, right here, very convenient. And then, of course, we've got the water outlet right here. Now, this outlet is called Sprayaway. It's made by a company called Sprayaway, and I'll post a link in the description as to where you can find this. We got it at eTrailer.com. What's really neat about it, it has a built-in check valve. So even if the pump was on, there's no need to put an extra valve in the line or anything, because it's got a check valve that'll stop the water from flowing. Now, in order to make this work properly, you have to also buy this special fitting right here. And this fitting here screws right on to a regular garden hose type fitting, a regular 3/4 inch garden hose type fitting. And it works very similar to an air hose, like on a compressor. It's pretty cool, really, the way it works. Now, all Deb has to do, she can go ahead and push that in. And there it is. It's hooked up. And then I'm going to walk around over here, and I'm going to turn the pump on. And there it's on. And there we've got the water flowing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So it'll be a real quick, easy hookup to do that. And then when we get done, we can actually, because it has a check valve on it, do you think you can do that while it's running, dear? You push in on the fitting first, and there you go. And the pump is still on. Of course, it's got its own built-in pressure switch that automatically shuts it off. But now all she'd have to do to demonstrate again how that's working, go ahead and plug it back in, Deb, if you don't mind. And boom, the pump fires up, and here it comes. Yeah, that's a really cool water outlet. Now, they also have that available in a hot and cold setup as well. And this one, of course, is just a single line for just single cold water. But what's cool about this fitting, if you were wanting to rig up an outdoor shower, you could literally, I'm going to go over here and turn this pump off right quick. You could literally set up one of those portable propane on-demand shower setups with the built-in heater, and you could set it up where it hung back here. You could come around here and simply plug it in right there, and you'd have yourself a portable shower right back in here. It'd be pretty cool to have that set up like that. All right, now we're going to show you some other stuff here. We're going to show you the framework. We'll be right back. Okay, now we've got all the framework completed, and we still have yet to put the decking on top, but you can see how we've got it all arranged in here. Now, like I say, we're not done. We still have to install some barricades to protect the tank on either side, which we will be doing. And then, of course, we're going to be putting the decking on top here, and that will allow us to haul some other stuff up here that, you know, like our gazebo. Even sometimes we'll haul our kayaks inside here. There's so many things that we'll be able to carry in this area here. Now, these two openings here will accommodate 8 of these tubs altogether. Accommodate 4 here and 4 here easily. So that'll allow us to haul quite a bit of stuff, and it'll all be, you know, we'll have everything organized. The things that we need the most, we'll have them towards the front, and then other things that we need, like in emergency situations, will be towards the back. Those stiffeners that you see right there will be coming out as soon as I add some more gussets to the framework. But right now, it is really pretty good and firm. And of course, I don't know what would happen if I took those stiffeners out, but I will be adding some gussets and everything. And once I get the plywood covering on top here, that will strengthen everything as well. So we're real excited about how this is all working out. We're going to be able to top off the tank in our trailer real easily by using this setup here, and we're going to be able to haul a lot more stuff more efficiently than we have been able to in the past. So anyway, that's the way that is working out. This is where we are so far. When we get it all done and get the decking on top, then we'll have another video, a wrap-up video, where we show you how everything works. I've got a place where I'm going to be hauling all my sound equipment in my guitar and everything, in addition to be able to carry the stuff that we're going to need for our everyday needs, as far as setting up the trailer and what we have to carry with us and things like that. All right, hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I know we've had a lot of people ask us, why are you going to all the trouble to do all this stuff to the van, to set it up this way? And we're doing it for several reasons, aren't we, dear?
We were bored. Not really.
No, we're not really bored. We've had stuff to keep us busy, even though we're what you call sheltering in place, or trying to follow protocols as closely as we can. But you know, when we were traveling and we would set up at a campground, here's what we would see happen. And keep in mind that when we set up at a campground, even when we start traveling again, we will be staying stationary at each campground for at least a week, and sometimes 2 weeks, depending on where we are and what there is to see in that particular area, right?
Right.
When we start traveling.
Right.
And let me throw this in right quick. We will be traveling again someday. This is not the end of the world, what's going on right now.
No,
right?
It's just temporary.
It's just a temporary thing.
Yes.
But the thing about it is, we have a 50-gallon freshwater tank in the trailer. And we went here again, as we've mentioned before, we built this trailer to have it as close to being at home as possible, except, of course, it's a lot smaller.
Right.
You know, we wanted all the features that we had at home. So we like to be able to take a shower every day, or at least every other day, for one thing. And when we have a 50-gallon freshwater tank, we will go through that tank, taking a shower most every day, washing dishes, whatever, you know, what have you, all the different things it's required, it's required to have water for. We'll go through that 50-gallon tank in about every 4 days or so. Right?
Yes.
So rather than hook up the trailer and go up to available water, because the places we stay usually do not have water at the site, but they'll have water available throughout the park, rather than have to hook onto the trailer and take it over someplace to fill it up, we thought we would just set up this instead. And it really didn't cost that much to do all this.
Well, we had a similar something last summer. It wasn't near this nice.
Right. And we did a video about it,
and
too.
we did a video about it, and it worked very well, except that the tank that we had and the way we had it positioned didn't allow for a lot of storage, so we still was lacking on some storage in the van.
Right.
And you know, when you're full time, you want to take your miscellaneous hand tools. You want to take, Bill wants his power tools. We need to take the miscellaneous stuff that we need, well, there's just all kinds of things.
There's all kinds of stuff that we got to carry that, you know.
And as you know, every time you stop at a new place, you have different things to hook up this or hook up that, and we have to have all these
Right.
extra little hookup thingies.
Right. Yeah.
So we discovered these stack boxes, and these work very well for different things, but we decided we needed it to be a little more organized and a little bit easier to get to everything. So that's why we decided while we were here all winter, we would take on this project.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, it's taken us a little longer than we had anticipated it taking us, but then, hey, we have the time to do it now,
we got the time
right?
to do it now, so it doesn't matter, right?
Exactly.
Anyway, so that's the real reason why we're doing all this, you know, just to make it as easy as possible when we're out there on the road. I'm trying to get my arm extended here so we can get us in the
Your
picture
arm
a
needs
little bit better.
to be longer.
Yeah, well, I switched arms while you were talking about the tub there because my left hand was getting a little,
Okay.
yeah, but I'm going to switch back now though. Okay. Anyway, so that's the real reason why we're doing that, and we just wanted to let you know because a lot of people were wondering what the heck. You know, why go through all this for that? Well, we just want to make it as easy as possible because, like we say, we stay at least a week at a time at each place we're at, and sometimes 2 weeks at the same place. We live in this. We're not just weekend camping or 2 week camping. We live in this. So we did this to make it simpler for us to live.
Exactly.
Which leads us to our closing line.
Yes.
This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures, and we're not camping.
We're living.
We'll see you again soon. Y'all take care. Bye-bye now.
As we sit side by side beneath the beautiful sky and reflect on this life we have chosen, there's so much we've discovered through our love for each other, with no worries about where we'll be going. Then I look in your eyes, and with no great surprise, I see joy in this life we've been given. With my mind oh so clear, I whisper softly in your ear, we're not camping, we're living. We're not camping, we're living. We're not camping, we're living.